just in case you haven't ever seen one before, this is what a Sansevieria flower looks like. And surprisingly, they smell really, really sweet. Hi, it's Nell, and today I'm going to be talking Sansevierias or snake plants. I love these plants, and what I'm going to show you is 3 easy ways to propagate them. The first way is by division. The second way is by leaf cutting, and the third way is by cutting the rhizomatic roots that have the foliage attached to them out of the garden, which I'm going to start with, so come on. So what prompted this video is because I'm tired of this one being stepped on here. It's also starting to crowd out my bougainvillea. Oh my goodness, it's going to bloom. It has a blossom coming on it. And this is the trifasciata. And the mother plant is in the back. And as you can see how it's spread all throughout the garden. Here's one here too. There's the bloom. And it's those rhizomatic roots I was talking about. So I want to get this one out of here. So I'm going to, ow, my variegated bromeliad, my variegated pineapple is like the guard dog of the garden. And I can actually cut it right here because as you can see, there are some roots coming right out there. Oh my gosh, here's another one coming here too. These things are all over the place. So I'm going to cut this, I'm going to take this. Ugh. You never know how they're attached. So this one is attached and coming off of here. So I'm going to cut it here. And this one is coming off of here. Oh, look at how orangey the roots are. We're crazy. So there's some roots there and there's some roots there. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in the garage with this. And I also want to take out this one because I want my bromeliad to have some breathing room here. Even though there's one coming at the bottom there. Oh. Look at the root system. Ooh. Fun, fun, fun. So let's get them into the garage and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Oh, I have my plants in here now at my work table. And this big long one, I'm just going to cut off there. Then I'm going to plant that back in the garden because I am moving soon. My house sold, which means I'll be leaving my garden. And I'm not buying a lot of pots. Actually, I'm not buying any pots, so I have to use what I have for this demonstration. So here are some roots right here. And I'm going to cut that. And what I would do is I would let this just heal over for like a couple days. It just means let the air kind of scab it over. But for the video, we're going to just do it in real time. So I have some nice succulent mix here. You can use succulent cactus mix straight, or you can use half potting soil, half succulent cactus mix, or you can use all potting soil for this one. You just like a nice light soil for the Sansevierias because they like good drainage. Although you can see how extensive their root system is. And then after it starts to root in, I would put in some worm castings too, so it gets good. And I'm going to look for a stake because this is not going to stand up on its own, and I'm going to stand here, blah, 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 and the plant's going to be falling over. It's so heavy. And it's all planted in, and it's all staked up, standing up just fine. And what I did is I just barely covered the crown of the plant. I just put enough soil over it to hold it. You don't want to bury it up to here because you want that part of it to breathe a little bit. And then you would just keep them lightly moist. You don't want to keep it soaking wet. Sansevierias can go bone dry and be bone dry for a while, but while they're rooting in, you want to give them some moisture and some nice bright light. Now you could plant all 3 of these together easily if you had a bigger pot. I'm just working with this pot here, so I just did one. So that's one way. That's by cutting off those rhizomatic roots that spread. And the second way is probably the most common, and that is by division. Now, this is my Sansevieria in a pot, obviously, the Laurenti, that I'm going to take with me when I move, so I don't want to divide it right now. But what I would do is get it out of the pot and just divide it in half or in thirds, or however many parts you want to divide it into. But this one was growing underneath my aspidistras. I'm tired. I've been through a lot of house sale stuff this week, paperwork, inspectors, all that. So aspidistras, and it wasn't even showing. So I dug it up. So I'm going to show you what's in here. And I didn't show me taking it out of the garden because it's buried under the plants. So this would be a division here because the plant would be all one, and then you would just divide it and you would plant it that way. I could actually divide. Here is one of those rhizomes going off of there, but in a pot, it's like it's being divided. So, for all intensive purposes, because I only have one pot, I will have a lot more pots where I'm going to. And I will just tell you that I'm leaving California, so that's the only hint I'll give as to where I'm going. So I will be creating a totally new kind of garden for you all to see, and you will actually see this because when I did this garden, I wasn't blogging and I wasn't doing YouTube, so you'll get to see some of that. But I love Sansevierias, so I'm going to take some of them along. So that's what you do, and I have to get some more soil to go in here because I'm just making a mess today. And that is how you do it by division. These I could easily plant into a 6-inch or even an 8-inch pot, and they would be very happy, and they're probably happy to be getting some light now too because they were buried. And this one was very happy that it was spared. I just want to tell you that these can grow really tight in their pots. They don't mind being pot bound. I've actually bought them in grow pods where the grow pod is completely split open and the roots are coming out and the plants are fine. It's one that doesn't mind it. On to the leaf cutting. So what my experience with doing leaf cutting has been that if it's a darker variety, it stays dark. But if you do a leaf cutting from a variegated one, like the Laurenti here that has the yellow and it has all the color in it, then it reverts to green. So the best one to use for the leaf cutting is the solid green one. And you want to make sure that you have a nice clean knife here. You can take smaller cuttings or you can take bigger cuttings. I'm going to do bigger cuttings because I have a lot of it. And I'm actually not going to do it. I'm actually not going to save this after I show you because I have so many of these plants. And what you need to know is the bottom of the cutting needs to go into the pot. And it's also best if it heals off for like a couple of days, which is, you know, the scabbing over, the healing over, the air will cover it. So what you might want to do is just put a little dot, and that will remind you what end to plant. Otherwise, if you plant this end, the end that grows up, it's not going to root. So, time-lapse photography. These have healed over, but here's my handy dandy dot so I know what end to plant. And I have moistened, I have lightly sprayed my succulent and cactus mix, and I'm just going to put it down in there, maybe about a quarter of an inch or so, just so it stands up. And you know, it's certainly okay if you no crowd them in while they root, because as I said, they don't mind being pot bound at all. And then with something like the leaf cuttings, I was looking for my spray bottle. You would just spray the soil to keep it moist. And again, you want to keep this in a spot that is bright but no direct hot sun. Sansevierias are such tough plants. They're really, really easy to propagate, and as you can see, once you have one Sansevieria, you will have a lot of them. I actually have a lot of them in my garden now, but I love them and I plan on getting some more varieties. So I hope you have found this video to be helpful, and please subscribe because I have a lot more gardening videos coming your way. Thank you for all your likes and your comments. I really appreciate them. Now let's get out in the garden and make the world a more beautiful place. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.